Abraham. You're the God of covenants and faithful promises. Time and time again, you have proven you'll do just what you said. Though the storms may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast and let my heart learn when you speak a word, it will come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. Oh,
Hey, family and friends, I am super excited about this 2022 camp experience and that you are a part of it. I pray and trust that you are now prepared for this experience that's going to empower your life, not just empower your life, but enrich your life. Not just enrich your life, but enlighten your life. Not just enlighten your life, but even beyond that, encourage you for life and for living. So thank you so much for being a part of camp. Now, many of you know, of course, camp was started as a result of the pandemic that happened in 2019, 2020, who knows now. And so it was a moment wherein God spoke to me about doing something that would help us to stay connected. And so he gave this whole concept of camp. Camp stands for community and even connectivity, accountability and even authenticity, ministry and productivity, CAMP. And I'm excited that you are a part of this camp experience on today. Now, as we're preparing for our first camp, I want you to take a brief moment. Of course, make sure that you introduce yourself to each other. There may be some new people that are a part of your camp. Listen, give them an opportunity to introduce themselves and make them feel welcomed in this experience. And let me just say, as pastor of EBC, thank you so much for being a part. Now, it's something that we're doing a tad bit different with this particular camp. Of course, many of you are aware our theme for 2022 is Unhindered, and we have what is known as the Unhindered Bible Challenge. We're encouraging all of our members to take the time to read through the Word of God in 2022 so that you can live a life of peace and even joy, a life of freedom, and even beyond that, a life of abundance. And I believe it starts with us applying the Word of God to our lives so that we can live the unhindered life. And so in light of that, today's focus verse comes from the collection of readings for this particular week. And it comes from the book of Psalms, Psalms 30, verse 10 down to verse number 12, wherein it reads, "Hear, Lord, and be gracious to me. Lord, be my helper. For you have turned my mourning into dancing for me, and you have untied my sackcloth and encircled me with joy, that my soul may sing praise to you and not be silent. Lord, my God, I will give thanks to you forever." And so I want to challenge you to just take a brief moment today in this first camp experience and share in your camp. How is it that God has turned your mourning into dancing? What is it that you give God praise for? How have you seen God at work in your life? Let me explain why this is so important. Because the power of your testimony can infuse encouragement into someone, and even beyond that, can inspire their faith to believe for God to do something amazing in their lives. So I would encourage you to just talk about how it is that God has turned your mourning into dancing, and how it is that God has placed a song in your heart, a song of praise and gratitude, and you cannot be silent about it. So share it in your camp today. And here's the last thing that I want you to start thinking on. Again, camp stands for community, accountability, maturity, and productivity. I want you to begin to think within your camp, how do you plan to live out this concept of community, the sense of belonging, the sense of togetherness? How do you plan to do it? As an example, some camps last year, of course, actually got together and had different Zoom experiences outside of the normal time that they met. And even some, daring, of course, got together and still had a moment of fellowship. So how do you plan to have a sense of community? Connectivity, accountability. How do you plan to hold each other accountable without policing each other, of course? How do you plan to hold each other accountable so that you can go through this camp experience together? And even beyond that, maturity. How do you plan as a camp, as a group, to grow together? It's not enough to just gather together, but we must grow together. And then last but not least, and this is a highlight, productivity. How do we plan as a group, as a team, as a community, if you would, to be productive in God's kingdom? In other words, I want you to think about in your camp what particular activity you can do as a camp that will make an impact. You may want to bless the homeless community. You may want to do something that will bless children or what have you. I want you to think creatively within your camp throughout the course of this particular time. How do you plan to end this experience, making an impact and making a difference in someone's life? Now, again, I pray and trust that you're super excited about today, and I want to encourage you, take the time to lean into this process, into this experience, and be blessed in your camp on today. Take care. God bless. Peace out.